If you had the opportunity, would you like to face Conor McGregor in a WWE ring?
Man, I take shits bigger than that kid, all right?
Mayweather will be, he'll be facing first-degree murder charges.
Oh my God.
It wouldn't even be fair.
I think Conor McGregor will knock him out in the first 35 seconds, like he done to Josie Aldo, to be honest.
I'm guessing you'll be back now with a lot of money in the bookies?
Yeah. I think McGregor will do him inside 1 round. Come on, McGregor!
Tyson,
Good for boxing that though, won't it, if McGregor chinned him? You do it. I'm going to call out Hulk Hogan next.
Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, so we're going to get a fight on me and old Hulk.
You're going to be a busy man when you're back in there.
Bang! Hulk Hogan, I'm going to get him out there and we're going to have a big pay-per-view fight.
Sounds good.
The worst thing you can do is underestimate your opponent. So yeah, Mayweather's likely going to win. You know, if you're a betting man, you don't bet against the house. But sometimes the number that you didn't expect drops. You know what I mean? You can cover the whole board and it drops on that one number that you didn't cover, and it's so annoying. So, you know, you never know in sport. That's why people watch it, is because it's unpredictable.
I'm very happy that McGregor and Mayweather are signed. Indirectly, Mayweather is helping us tremendously because we as mixed martial artists need the Ollie Act to be amended to protect us from promoters, just like it does boxers. On the combative front and the technical front, the best boxers in the world have not touched Mayweather in 10 years. It's crazy to think that McGregor is going to go out and hit this guy and knock him out. I don't think either one of them are going to get knocked out, but I think Mayweather will probably win that fight. I'm hoping, and this is just my hope, that McGregor loses his mind, forgets where he's at, and kicks Mayweather in the head in the second round. That would be so awesome. I will die laughing.
I guess normally something like this you would say a puncher's chance. Right. But we're talking about a guy that's never punched anybody with a 10-ounce boxing glove. You know, in a ring without wearing headgear and all that. So Conor McGregor is a really super athlete. There's no doubt about that. So I mean, and he's a fighter. You know. Landing a knockout punch with no boxing experience and 10-ounce gloves could be difficult.
Well, obviously Mayweather has the advantage, and he's very careful in choosing to fight him in the ring and not the octagon. But Conor, I think, is a different kind of fighter. If you look at whether it be Canelo, Canelo never really went after Mayweather, and I don't think he has the power to knock out McGregor. So I think Conor's going to be willing to go in there and take a couple shots to get one. And it'd be interesting to see if he could catch Floyd, if Floyd could handle that power and that punch. So I've always been one to see, you know, that kind of greatness tested. And I know Conor's going to bring it, and you know he's not going to be scared. I hope to see something interesting happen. Let's just put it that way.
I mean, it's not a fight. I wouldn't consider it a fight. I never consider any of Floyd Mayweather's outings fights. Really, he's a technical, defensive, you know, exhibitionist. Really, you know, he's great at exposing world-class boxers and not getting hurt. And I think McGregor poses some interesting problems for him because he's not going to move like a regular boxer. He's not going to command the space like a regular boxer. Probably won't fall into the same traps as a regular boxer will. But then, you know, he does have a big, powerful left hand, and that is, his whole game revolves around that, which can be a little predictable for a guy like Mayweather.
I can say Floyd Mayweather will win. Because the fight is in boxing, but not an MMA fight. So that's an advantage with Floyd, and I don't think McGregor is comfortable in boxing.
Yes, it is, because the reason why I think is good for boxing is because MMA is on such a high that people think it's going to surpass boxing. I always say it's not going to. I mean, even though I have my own MMA company, Super Fight League, I also, if Mayweather goes into this fight and beats McGregor, he's only going to build up boxing. People say, oh wow, boxing's a sport, really. Boxers are better than MMA fighters. I like McGregor, but I don't give him a chance, honestly. Looking at it as a fighter, I don't give him a chance at all in this fight because Mayweather's a boxer who's been fighting all his life. He knows how to use his hands. He has great movement. Doesn't really get hit much in a fight. And he's been hit by bigger guys like Canelo and harder guys. But you think McGregor's going to even get close to him or catch him, and he's never boxed before, like as a professional, so he has no chance.
This is his love, this is his passion, so I think so.
And recently when you talked to him, he's just training boxing?
Yeah, right now he's just doing boxing, yeah.
And you think he could actually hang with the best of all, one of the greatest of all time in Mayweather?
I don't think he'll hang with him, I think he knocks him out.
Really?
Yeah, I'm 100%.
This is my honest opinion. I know I play and I talk shit, but my honest opinion is McGregor, he won most of his fights on his feet, and when he knocked somebody out, he can fight. Mayweather is Mayweather, but when you step inside that ring, I don't care who you are, you only one punch away from a knockout. So McGregor always got a puncher's chance to win, and will he land that shot? Slim to none. I don't think so, but there's still a chance. There's a chance.
Just as much as Floyd is going to make McGregor look unorthodox and all of those things, it could be an ugly performance for Floyd because you got a guy in front of you who has very little experience in the boxing ring. He's making all these different moves you really aren't used to seeing, and you won't be able to dictate the pace the way you want to. So just as much as we expect Floyd to outbox McGregor for however long this fight goes, because none of us really expect him to knock him out, I'll go ahead and say I don't expect Floyd to knock out McGregor. It could be just as ugly and awkward for Floyd because he's in the ring with someone who has a very, very lack of experience.
I'll tell you guys who's going to win right now. The big winner of that fight is Dana White.
No, I respect him. He's a great athlete and a great UFC fighter. And a little bit different boxing and UFC.
UFC fighter Conor McGregor would have no chance in a boxing match against you.
No. Everybody has chance. I think Conor, he has a lot of chance.
Does boxing the way it should be done with not getting hit? The point of boxing is not to get hit. So that's why he's the best of all time. He never gets hit. That's great. He takes no risk. No risk. He has zero risk. When you fight a guy like Conor McGregor who believes he can knock him out, has the power to knock him out, he's the bigger guy, he's the faster guy, he's the awkward guy, and you have all this self-belief, and you have the nation of Ireland behind you, I'll take that, man.
There are a lot
I will take that against a guy who's 40, who's just doing it for the money.
Well, listen, I mean, circus, that projects what? Entertainment. We all want to be entertained. The reason why this is so very entertaining to a former champion of my standing is because I know that the Irish spirit is never to be underestimated. I don't care about the man's ability. If the man is Irish, he is dangerous.
I've been around the game long enough and understanding that if you want to see a show, go watch that fight. If you want to see a fight, go watch a real fight. And that real fight is in September. Anything else out of that is a spectacle, and that's a show. So if you want a show, go watch Mayweather and McGregor. That's a show. If you want to fight, come watch Canelo and Triple J.
I think it's bad for boxing. I think there's only one winner, and that's Mayweather. But it's going to be some kind of show, that's going to be.
It's good for their pockets, but not good for boxing. What the fuck is that fight about?
Mismatch?
Mismatch on what? On what? Great. Mayweather McGregor boxing, great. Oh, come watch it, pay-per-view. I'm not buying that shit. I like Mayweather, but I'm not buying that shit.
To know that buying this pay-per-view, it's not going to be a competitive matchup, but it's going to settle all their doubts, on the difference between UFC and boxing. Two different sports with a lot of similarity. It's a combat sport, both are, but boxing is a skillful art that takes years and years and years to really reach your full potential when it comes to that. You gotta learn the skill, you gotta learn the reflexes, the movement. It's just all that. And for a UFC fighter to just come in to a boxing ring and fight the #1 fighter pound for pound on your first fight seems tough. But the doubts will be settled. come August.
Easy fight in boxing? Listen, he's not a boxer. He's an MMA fighter. He can't be Floyd. Everybody knows that. Anybody who knows boxing knows that. But it's not about boxing. It's about money. It's about entertainment. And I wouldn't say it's a bad thing for the sport because it is a mega fight. Anything that brings that much limelight to the sport of boxing, I'm fully behind.
McGregor, well, Mayweather will destroy him. That's like saying, that's not even, it's so ignorant for that fight to even happen. I mean, the guy's the greatest boxer of all time. Makes professional boxers look dumb, you know? And so, that's a hell of a payday.
You know, I'm a big McGregor fan, so I don't want to. You know, he's a real character. He's good for the sport. You know what I mean? But you know, whenever boxers go into the UFC or the mixed martial arts, they always do badly. You know what I mean? And I have no disrespect. I mean, I see it being you know, Canelo couldn't hit Mayweather. I can't see how Conor's going to do it. And I say that with love. You know what I mean? Because I'm a Conor McGregor fan. It's two totally different sports, and I think Mayweather will win by an absolute shutout. You know, to be honest with you, I mean, I struggled nailing him. You know, Canelo struggled nailing him. De La Hoya struggled nailing him. No disrespect, I can't see Conor.
Mayweather and Conor McGregor. You know, Floyd Mayweather is one of the greatest. He is the greatest of all time in the sport of boxing. So for Conor to beat Floyd Mayweather in a boxing match is extremely unlikely. But does Conor reduce chance? Absolutely. Anything can happen in combat sports at any given time. But with that being said, you know, if Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather were to compete in an MMA match, you know, of course we all know what happened there. So, you know, Floyd has his thing. He's the matchup when he does. Odds are heavily stacked up against Conor in that situation. To our arena, obviously, odds will be heavily in Conor's favor. So.
MMA fighters and boxers, you know, we're different. The clinch is much different. We're much stronger. We're much, you know, it's just a different style of fighting. And I think Floyd isn't underestimating Conor. He understands that it's very real. You know, people might say, oh, Conor doesn't stand a chance, but it's a very real fight, and it's and once they get in there, you can't lie. You know, you if you didn't prepare right. With the right sparring partners and the right trainers, then it's going to show during the fight. So
with Mayweather and McGregor, your thoughts on that?
Well, you know, it's a show, man. Come on, those guys, they're going to making a big show about it. But you know, if Conor can get Mayweather to come after him and feel like he has to knock him out early to prove something, yeah, it could be interesting. Because Conor will come from different angles he's not used to, but other than that, I mean, Floyd's one of the best, or if not the best, yeah, you know, defensive boxer all the time. So that doesn't leave for a great fight if it goes away. You know, Floyd wants it to.
But the thing is, I don't really think the two sports mix that well because whoever's rules you go by is going to dictate the winner of the match. At least 99% of the time, unless someone gets really lucky or something. So the thing is, I don't think he has much chance to box the match. But if he's fighting the UFC fight, he would kill him. Yeah. The other way around. But the thing is, I wish him the best of luck. He seems like a real nice guy. He's pretty funny on TV.
Give him a year or so, and who knows? But he comes from a boxing background, so why not? I think he can box. You can see it in the UFC and high fights. He stands up and he punches a lot. So and he can obviously punch pretty hard.
Would you be willing to train him?
Train him? Me?
Yeah.
I don't train anyone.
Or you know, work out with them. Yeah,
I would love to. I would love to.
You know, I feel that a fighter who has 0-0 record as a boxer, first of all, how did the commission ever sanction such a fight? And how can a fighter who has zero experience in boxing go up against the very best and pretend that maybe he can win? It's almost unheard of. I mean, look, Floyd Mayweather is one of the best boxers in our generation, and for McGregor to think that he can outbox Mayweather is a little delusional.
Shaq, quick question. What's your take on McGregor, Mayweather back and forward?
Oh, I like McGregor. I'm Irish.
Do you like the fight?
Yeah. Why not? If people want this fight, if people can pay for this fight, why not? It's very interesting. But you know, all people who understand boxing, who understand the UFC, understand, know about future results.
But do I expect Floyd to pretty much dominate? Yeah, I probably do. But I don't think it's bad if a fight is competitive. As a matter of fact, I think it will be great for both sports at the end of the day. Probably better for mixed martial arts. Probably great for both sports because maybe you can even get a second fight out of it. But I'd be hard pressed to predict that.